Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is Dina with Scars to Stars, and we're launching our book on February 22nd. And I'm here with yet another author in our book, and this is Stella, and she's going to tell us a little bit about what her chapter is about. So, welcome, Stella.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here. Well, where would I start? My story it's really not a special story. It began when I was in my late 30s, and I was just a happy woman with a beautiful man. And we were planning our happily ever after, our family that we were going to have, and growing old, and all the things that couples plan, as if the future is full of possibilities and not full of life happening. And so that is what happened. Life happened to us about 5 years into our relationship, and that looked like him receiving a diagnosis one day of advanced non-curable cancer. And I say our story isn't special, and that's the thing, that even after the diagnosis, as we learned to live with that, and as we tried to find a cure for that, thinking like, so many people are experiencing the same story. So many people get cancer. So many people's partners or family members or loved ones have cancer. And if you don't go through it, you don't realize just how it impacts everything. Everything changes. And 6 years later, Daniel, my husband, he departed to other realms, and I was left a widow at 48. So kind of youngish. It's nobody around me had experienced losing their partner at that time. And I obviously I had thought about the possibility that he might not make it, but I had no idea what I was like. I was completely unprepared for what was to come after. So I kind of think of, the death is like the earthquake, and then there's all these aftershocks that just ripple throughout every aspect of your life, internally and externally. And I call them secondary losses. So there are things like our sense of identity, our sense of safety in the world, everything that we, our future, like it's a complete rebuilding from the inside out. And it's because there was nobody around me that really understood what I was going through. I just kind of felt so alone, so unseen, and just started to retreat into isolation without even realizing it. It just sort of was like a natural instinct to just go where I felt safe, which was alone. And, that was 7 years ago, and it's been a rich experience because my nature tends to be to always mine the gold of whatever I'm going through. And one of the things that I noticed is our culture, our society just has no idea how to be with grief and loss, even though we all experience it, not just deaths of people, but we experience loss all the time. And we have this kind of misguided notion of what that process is supposed to look like. There's so much judgment around it, externally and also internally. Like, I was my own worst critic of, how long I thought I should grieve, when I should be in a different place, externally and internally. And I guess what I've kind of come to is there's like, it is a natural part of life. And I'm really on a mission to have us talk about the hard stuff, because the hardest time to talk about the hard stuff is when you're facing mortality, or you're in the thick of feeling like you're sinking into depression or anxiety. Or the hardest time to reconnect or to connect with people is when you're in your cave. So, and interestingly enough, as I have been moving through life, just sharing my experience with people, I don't usually come across other widows. But the people that resonate with what I'm going through are people who have invisible injuries or trauma or challenges. So people who experienced, debilitating depression or anxiety, or I talk about my chapter, like I have a few people who have concussions, and they have similar experiences of how, where it leads us is disconnected in isolation. And yeah.
Well,
I could go on and on. And one of the things that I have learned is there are powerful ways to integrate loss and move forward into our lives. And, I'm really excited to share what I'm learning in that part of the process. And it's, there's many powerful ways. And some, like say maybe the top 3 would be finding people that can be your witness to our pain. We tend to want to fix each other's pain. Like we don't want each other to feel bad. So we want to fix it. So we offer these platitudes like, everything happens for a reason, which is, no, it doesn't. Things happen. It doesn't mean there's a reason for it. Like sometimes it just is senseless that things happen. Good things happen to bad people. Moving our bodies and moving energy in our spaces as well as physically. And also finding ways to integrate our loss through finding meaning. And so that's one of the things I'm really most excited about, because it's, our people we don't lose our connection with them just because they're not here in their physical bodies anymore. We still have a relationship. Like our parents are still parents, even when they're no longer here. And I have that same experience with my partner. Like, I'm still very much connected. It's a very interesting transformation of a connection, but I still feel him. He's still there.
Mm-hmm. Well, I appreciate you sharing, because you're so articulate in sharing your story and relating to other people. So thank you for that. I do want to ask you another question about your experience being part of this project and writing your story for public consumption, and how that was for you.
I'm not gonna lie, it's way outside of my comfort zone. But I've been so thankful for you creating this space for this project. I'm so excited about it. Personally, I'm also on a mission and have been for probably my whole life, but even more so in the last couple of years, of finding my own voice, like really claiming my own voice and my place as a storyteller, because stories are so powerful. Stories connect and stories heal. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so excited about your project. Is it's like, unless we start talking about the hard stuff, about the places where we feel our challenges, our shame, our fears, like, unless we sort of bring the light into that, it's because it's like that allows others to see themselves in our stories. Because the thing that it's easy to feel like we're all alone, or it's easy often to feel like this is, only happening to me, or it's special to me. But as soon as I ever talk to anybody else, even if we look so different on the outside, like we're more similar than different.
Yeah, it's true. I think, the whole purpose of this book is to meet people where they are in their pain, whatever that is, or adversity, and showing them, relate to them in some way, so we can show them how we got through it, and that maybe that will inspire and motivate them to do that on their own, in their own way. And I think it's the theme of this book, and every single story is like, where were we? What place were we in that we either felt we couldn't go on, or we didn't know how to get through it? And then our journey from there until now, and how we did overcome it. And I think it's the theme in every single story in this book, and they're all very, very different. And, you know, there is a theme throughout the book and many chapters about suicide. And that is why this project is being, it's going to benefit the Realize Foundation, which is all about suicide prevention. So I want to give everybody a little bit more information about our book launch. We're going to have a virtual event on February 22nd at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And it's only going to be about 60 to 90 minutes. So it'll be not too long out of your day to join us. There is an Eventbrite link that will be under this video, so you can register for free and join us. And if you buy the book, your money will go to the nonprofit. And our mission at the Realize Foundation is all about conversations and community and personal stories, and that those things heal. You know, what the fact that people feel alone and the fact that people feel like they don't matter. So that is what this is all about, and we hope you join us. And I'm going to take us out of the video feed so I can show you more information about the book at the end of this video. So thank you very much for joining us and for listening. And we hope to see you on the 22nd.